Okay, we are doing vertical stretches and compressions of exponential functions today. All right, this is an equation. This is the apparent graph of 2. Remember, this can change. This number here doesn't have to be 2. It can be any base. All right, we have on other occasions talked about H and K, and today we're going to talk about A. If A is a number bigger than 1, and I mean the absolute value of A, not a negative sign. We ignore the negative here. We just look at the number. If it's bigger than 1, then it's a stretch. If it's less than 1, it's a compression. And again, ignore the negative sign. So if it is negative, if A happens to be negative, then it is a reflection over the x-axis. That's what happens there. Okay, let's take a look. And as you see, my parent graph of f equals 2 to the x is sketched in black. And 2 to the 0 power is 1, 2 to the first power is 2, 2 to the second power is 4, 2 to the third power is 8. And that is where the parent graph will come from every time. And when I multiply it by 2, what happens is it gets stretched. It gets steeper. So all my y values are multiplied by 2. So this is the 0.01, so 1 times 2 is 2. This is the 0.12, and 2 times 2 is 4. This is the 0.24, and 2 times 4 is 8, and so on. It gets stretched. Just the same as if you, as a person, were being stretched to double your height, you would get skinnier and you would get steeper looking. The same thing happens with a graph. All right, again, the parent graph is sketched in black. I'm not going to go over where that came from again. And then what we do is we multiply our y values by 1/2. So 1 times 1/2 is 1/2, 2 times 1/2 is 1, 4 times 1/2 is 2, and 8 times 1/2 is 4, and you see that is being compressed. The same as if your body, where its height were cut in half, you would become fatter and compressed. It's the same sort of idea. So it's like the line gets shoved down. This other one is like the line gets, the graph gets stretched up. So it's a stretch. This is a vertical compression of 1/2. Again, the parent graph of 2 to the x is in black. And if I have a negative sign, what that does is that multiplies the y value by -1. So 1 times -1 is 1, 2 times -1 is -2, and so on. And you see that this graph got reflected over the x-axis. It just got flipped over it. That's what happens. And so this is a reflection over x. Now, let's practice writing our transformations when we apply it to a different parent. This time I chose my parent to be 1/2 to the x power. All right, now let's describe this. See the 3 in the front? That's a stretch, a vertical stretch of 3. This 3/4 is smaller than 1, so this is a vertical compression of 3/4. This one has a lot going on, and I put some stuff in there from yesterday's assignment. So we reflect x. And when I'm doing a graph, I go from left to right looking at what's going on. It's just an orderly way for me to look at it. This 2 is not the parent. It's the stretch. The way you can recognize whether it's the parent or not is look where the exponent is, and the base right next to the exponent, that's your parent. So this is a stretch of 2, and 1/2 is our parent. So we look at our exponent of +5. Remember, that shifts it left 5. From our lesson yesterday, and this one shifts, and I wrote up, it's going down 6. I do not know why. Oops. I wrote up. Had a la-la-ville moment is what I did. But this one is shifting it down 6 because it's a minus sign. Okay, and here we are writing the equation based on the parent and based on the description. So we have the parent of f of x equals 2 to the x power, and we wanted to have a stretch of 6. So I put 6 in the front times 2 to the x. They may also write this without the times. They may write it 6 parentheses 2 to the x. It would be the same thing. They may use parentheses instead of that multiplication dot. Same thing here, compression of 1/3, 1/3 in the front times 2 to the x. And again, they may use parentheses. All right, this one here, it says reflect across x. And a stretch of 2, write 6 down 5. So reflection across x is a negative. Stretch of 2 is 2. Then the parent graph of 2. And then right 6 is minus 6. And then down 5. Thank you.